Alright, so this is going to be an easy way how to make skin look pretty good. First, after you make your sketch, you can clean it up whatever you want, or you can just leave it as a sketch like I will here, and then just color in all of the skin areas. I usually leave space where the eyes are, but everything else I just color in. I just use this orange because it's easy to see. And actually, you can drag a color over for a skin tone, or you can just adjust that orange. Okay, that's fine. That's good for this tutorial. Alright, so I did the same thing with the hair. I just colored in the hair like so, but I'm going to change that to, I guess it's going to be gray. Alright. Select the skin area. I make another layer above that, and then I go to a light red, and I take the airbrush. You can use any airbrush, and I just put the airbrush right across here and on her nose. And on her ears. And it doesn't have to be super, I go kind of light, but and then I take the Gaussian blur and I just blur it a little bit, and then I bring the opacity down to about 50%. We'll do 60%. So we'll do 60%, and that just gives some life to the skin. Another thing I'll do is for her lips, I'll just go with a pinkish color. Regular brush, airbrush. I call it graffiti brush, but you can download all my brushes with their specific names, which are just brushes that I've tweaked, stock brushes. Let's see how this looks. Actually, we're going to color the top lip darker. The top lip is always darker, so I'll do 2 layers of this sort of, I don't know what color that is, mauve or something? I'm not sure. I don't know what you call these colors, but, and then I'll do a pinkish for the bottom lip. And if you want more of this, I probably should have done the red on a different layer, but that's okay. I think it looks all right. Okay, so we're going to select the skin again. We're going to make another layer, and we're going to take yellow and I'm just going to add the yellow here, a little bit under her eyes, and then like so. We'll add a little more red too. We'll add a little more red, kind of going up like that. And we'll add a little more red to her ears too. And a little more to the nose. And sometimes you can just lower the opacity. You don't actually need to do the Gaussian blur. Alright. And also, since her hair is gray, let's go ahead and we're going to take that gray color. We're going to use graffiti brush again because it's just a plain airbrush, but I just have it so it can get really big because sometimes that helps. But I'm going to lower the opacity because her hair is cut short here. It's a little too light. So I'm just lowering the opacity, and I'm doing the same exact color gray. so it's just like her hair is shaved. And another trick, I'm going to go a little bit darker. I'm going to take stubble. I just use the regular stock stubble brush. And let's see how this looks. Looks like it can actually be a little bit darker. So you just color that in with the stubble brush. So it looks like her head's shaved. All right, so it's a little too much yellow, I think. So I'm going to take the eraser. I'm going to lower the opacity of the eraser, and I'm just going to erase some of it. You just don't want it to be too, you don't want to actually like see the colors. You just want to kind of feel them a little bit. Alright, so I'll quickly give her some eyes, because right now I'm sure she looks somewhat creepy. So what I do is I do white eyes behind, and then, why do they look gray? And then I'll do a layer above that. And what color eyes should we give her? We'll give her the same gray eyes. Why not? How's that look? Does that look alright? I think that looks okay. Alright, so we gave her some gray eyes. And I'm just going to select the whites of her eyes. So I selected the whites of her eyes, and then I put a layer above this gray. And then I'm going to take my regular brush again, choose the color black. And I'm just going to do an arc. So all this is the color black, but the opacity of the brush is lower. So then it just looks like a shadow. That's pretty much all it is. And I'll give her some let's see. I'm going to alpha lock this layer. And then I'm going to take the airbrush and just kind of give the eyes a little bit of a shadow. I'll give the eyes a little bit of a shadow there. And I'll just take the regular black brush, 100% opacity, and I will just put just a black circle there. Doesn't have to be, sometimes it can be a little, doesn't have to be completely black. Let's see what it looks like if it's not completely black. Sometimes that looks nice too. Black is a very harsh color when there's no other black in the artwork. And also another thing that I usually do is I'll just let me un-alpha lock that layer and just put a little black rim around the eye. Alright, and then just take the white graffiti brush again, opacity to about 35% or so. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll just make a little jelly bean in the eye. And then we raise the opacity. And you can do a little dot like that, or you can do something like this. But the main thing, this is what it looks like if it doesn't have the, let me merge these two layers. If it doesn't have the red and the yellow, it just looks very flat. I'll color her hair in so you can see it without any distractions. Let me do it here. Okay, so her hair is colored in. This is what she looks like without, and that's what she looks like with just the red and a little bit of yellow, and then the pink and stuff for the lips. So the red really shows that, like, that's where the blood, that's where you can kind of see the blood. That's why when people have lights coming through, their ears are like a bright orange, or like a bright red, because that's where the blood is the most. And you can also you can put it in other places too. Like if you ever look at you can like look at a person and see which areas are red. But usually just adding a little bit of red just gives some warmth to it. Like it's a living organism, so it just gives it some warmth. And another trick that you can do is you can take the color of the skin, you can darken it a tiny bit, and you can color in underneath that eye where that is, under this whole eye area, since that's sort of in shadow. So you can color that in. You can even make it darker here. Sometimes a lot of people like putting a little bit of the white, so you can take any brush and take a white, the color white, and then you can sort of do this kind of deal. I don't know why. Oh, I see why it's white. I was wondering why it's a darker color. Let me put it above the lip layer. Give her so that's pretty much it. If you want to get real cutesy with it, you can give her a little something on the nose, something like that. And you can take this area that you made dark, you can go to that layer, and then you can also kind of shade out. If you don't want it to be too hard of line, you can kind of shade that out. So once again, this is without the red and the pink. She looks pretty flat, and then you just add the red in, and ears, nose, kind of around the cheek type area, a little bit up the nose. Just gives her some life.